Hello, everybody, and I'm happy to be here to introduce Engineer Cesare Castiglia, one of my former students of many years ago, and presently is working, and he worked in an international engineering company. So, dear Cesare, what is your present activity, and how do you enter, and how do you exploit the knowledge that Polytechnic Torino provided to you?
Okay, thank you for inviting me here, and let's start from the past. So from my very first experience right after I graduated in 2000 now. And the very first experience was as a design engineer after a short period inside the university working with Professor Peila. And there was like industrial kind of design company. So a lot of design deliverables to be prepared in short time. And I was coming out right after I started the PhD studies. And so I was used to write a lot, and so I got a good school at the university. And after that, I moved to consultancy, and I spent about 15 years in an international consulting company, where I started as junior and then developed my career through the years, becoming in the end one senior group manager and project manager. So that's the normal path. But I would focus on the early years of career, which are the years that really benefit from the university career, from your university path, because you will get more training by training on the job, and that adds on your university background. But we are here to discuss why you should become, or you should take, a geoengineering path. So let's focus where you can actually take the most out of university knowledge. I think if I go back to when I started, as a differentiator, I can remember the difference with other geoengineers. So when a junior starts,
yeah, I think this is very important for our for the people who will listen us. Yeah.
Yeah, when a junior starts, you will be hired in a company together with geologists, with scientists, with civil engineers, with mechanical engineers, depending on the business that's hiring you. And also there is a very diverse context that you can be hired. You can be hired by a contractor or by a design company, or you could be hired by a research institution. Well, the differentiator, back then it was environmental engineering. Now we are focusing on geotechnologies, geoenvironmental, is that the way I see it and the way the industry sees it in an international background or context is that brand is more like geological engineer, or specular, it would be like engineering geology. It's a bit borderline between the two. So it's not just civil engineer with a geotechnical background or rock mechanics. The focus of a geoengineer is that they know how things are done. They didn't just study the theory, but there's a lot of application, and that eases your way. If you're going to do construction management, one of my first assignment was in construction management, or if you want to work for a contractor, they would assume that you have some knowledge or about how things are done in the field, about the practicalities, and that's something that you would get. Oh, I remember that was a focus in the university lectures that I got from Daniele, that I got from the other professors, and it was quite differentiating from the other studies that you could take in Torino.
Cesare, would you suggest to a young engineer, to a people coming from high school, to start this path? Were you satisfied of your life? I think so. We know each other from so long time. That is nice. But what would you suggest to a young person who has to make his final choice, to make a start that will influence his whole life? I know
Well, you know,
question,
it's hard
and
question
I
because
think it was difficult to say, but what
yeah,
is it from your experience? What would you suggest?
well, it's difficult to say because we don't know quite now what's happening in 5 or 10 years. But in general, there's a very wide range of applications of what you could study in Torino in geoengineering. It's not a narrow path that will force you to take just one kind of career. In my experience, I started and I basically was competing to some level with the geotechnical engineers coming from civil engineering. But then I went to a company that specialized in environmental engineering. And between the environmental engineering applications, I had to work in mining, I had to work in manufacturing, or in other fields that somehow can be related to geoengineering. And that was a plus. So I had a background that was quite diverse. So of course you need to know, to like the basics of what geoengineering is, but if you want to decide whether to take a very specialistic, focused path or something which is more blurred, that gets you a bit of everything, and then in your life you don't want to be a specialist in one thing, but you want to do a bit of everything, then I think geoengineering is a good choice.
Okay, Cesare, thank you very much for the time that you gave to us to prepare this short video. And I really thank you very much, and all the best for your future activity. And I hope that soon you will take and you will hire some of the new generation of geoengineers that we will graduate very soon. Thank you very much, Cesare, and bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.